This is the Virtuoso 2 from Enigwatch Winders Incorporated. It is a beautiful and luxurious watch winder that holds and automatically winds 2 watches. So in the box, when you receive the watch winder, you'll have the watch winder itself. You'll have a welcome guide and a user's manual. You'll have 2 plush pillows to put your watches on, 2 telescopic watch pillows, which are crafted from super fiber leather, which gives a very nice premium feel and texture to these telescopic watch pillows. You will also have the remote control to control the watch winder via remote. You will have a personalized security key so you can lock the watch winder, as well as a leather case to put the key in. And lastly, there's the power cable so that you can power the watch winder. Now the dimensions of this watch winder measure just under 10 inches across, which is almost exactly 25 centimeters. It has a depth of 7 3/4 inches, which is 19.5 centimeters. And it has a height, including the feet, of 8.5 inches, which is 21.5 centimeters. Now weighing the watch box, not that it's too important, is almost 4.2 kilos, which is roughly 9.25 pounds. So it's not necessarily light, but it's not really heavy either. Looking at the watch winder and ignoring my reflection from the high polish finish of the watch winder, you'll see the beautiful noble ebony polished wood as the black wood there, and also the beautiful Macassar polished wood finish here in the middle. On the side here, you also have the key slot where you put in your personalized key, where you can lock the lockbox by turning the key counterclockwise. So now the watch box is locked. You don't need the key in to do that. And to unlock the box, turn the key clockwise to then unlock the box again. Moving around to the back side of the watch winder, there's the on-off power switch, there's the power in, and there's a rotation button that you can turn on-off. The power cord is a standard power cord, and you just simply plug it into the back to supply power. Now right now mine's not plugged in, so I can't turn it on and off, but I'll turn it on in a second. I do just want to mention that the power cord supplied with the box is quite short, only 3 feet long, or measuring at 91 centimeters. So if you do not have a power outlet close by to where you want to place this, either you'll need to get another power adapter, or you'll need to get an extension cord in order to plug this in. This watch winder does not have the option to plug in batteries, so you will need to find a way to run the cable to the box. Now once you do find a way to put power to the box, you can plug it in, and then once you all plug it in, you also need to turn on the power. It should light up a beautiful blue, and then you are ready to flip it around and get the watch winder going. Now that the watch winder is turned on, we're ready to go start working the watch winder. From the front part of the watch winder, you have a display glass with a nice piece of glass here on the front, and when you open the door, you're meted with a very nice action by very sturdy hinges on the door, as well as the door closing mechanism. And when you're locking the watch box, for example, you can see that a small lock comes out to lock the door. Inside of the watch winder is fitted with a genuine leather with a kind of microfiber feel. It's very nice and a very premium feel to it. Now, as mentioned earlier, this watch box comes with a remote control where you can completely control the watch winder. Starting at the top of the remote, you have a start-stop button. You have a button that will turn on and off the internal light. You have the line selector. You have the direction of which you want your watches to wind, either counterclockwise or clockwise, or both directions. You can also set the turns per day of either 650, 1350, 1800, 900, or 2200. Again, this is TPD, turns per day. The watch winder will automatically split this up into 1 hour intervals, meaning if you have selected 650 turns per day, every hour the watch winder will rotate the watch 27 times. Now if you decide you don't want to use the remote, this watch winder is also equipped with an integrated touchscreen, which is very, very nice. To activate the touchscreen, you can touch anywhere on the touchscreen and the touchscreen lights up. From left to right, you have the LED on off. Can simply touch it and it turns the LED on or off. Next you have your line selector. 0 is for both left and right winders. Line 1 lets you control the settings for line 1, and line 2 lets you set the settings for line 2. Next is you have your turns per day. Pressing this will let you cycle through the turns per day. This is 650, 900, 1350, 1800, and 2200. Next will be the direction of which you want your watch winder to rotate in, either both directions, clockwise or counterclockwise. And then the last is the on-off button, starting the winder for whichever line you have selected. If you have both lines selected and you have your turns per day and direction set, then it will work as you have set. If you want line 1 to have 650 turns per day, you can set the direction whichever way you want, and then you can turn it on or off. And you can see that the winder on the left will start as this is line 1. If you want to set line 2, then you have to go into line 2, set your settings. Let's set it 900, direction, both directions, and then start line 2. Now these will work once an hour, every hour from when you press the start button. After these will rotate, they will stop in a home position. Now the home position will be a vertical position, so you can expect your watches always to be sitting in a vertical position. I'm going to stop this for line 2 and for line 1. And you will see that these are sitting in the home position. Now, as you saw earlier, we have a couple options for mounting the watches inside of the winder. We either have plush cushions or we have telescopic watch cushions. These plush cushions are quite nice and very squishy, and the telescopic cushions are quite nice, also with this leather microfiber covering, and you can see they are spring loaded, so when you put your watch in, they will close and then extend to however big your watch is. If you have a bit of a smaller wrist, you can actually remove this piece in the back. It also has the coating to protect your clasp, and you have a little bit smaller of a watch cushion. If you decide you need it, you can easily just slip this back on and it locks into place. Now, to mount your watch on these is very easy. You can just lay your watch over the pillow and then close your watch, and you see that this one fits perfectly fine. If you're using the telescopic watch cushion, you have two small clamps on each end, on the left side and the right side, that you can gently pull in, and you can align them with these notches inside of the watch winder. Once you align them, you simply just load your watch in and release. Now the watch looks a little off-center, but this is just the angle of the camera. Now, to use this plush cushion, it actually will fit in long ways like this. And to use this cushion, I found it easiest if the watch you have is already closed, and then you just fit the cushion inside of the watch, like so. You just kind of squeeze it in there, press it in there, and then it is good to go like that. Then you can just slide it in to the watch winder and it will stay in its position. I prefer using the telescopic cushion. It just has a much more premium feel, and it feels a lot more secure once it is in the watch winder. And I think it looks a lot nicer when it is sitting in the watch box. So I'm quickly going to change out the watch on the left to the telescopic cushion. Again, you just slide this out, press out the cushion. I don't need these for the moment. And you also can put the watch in this telescopic cushion if it's closed. You just push it out, push in the telescopic cushion, and then put your watch in. Again, squeeze the two tabs on the side and put the watch in, and there you go. I'm typically winding both my watches at the same interval, but again, you can set it as you wish. And for this demonstration, I'm going to use the remote. Now, first you press any button to wake up the system. You can turn on the light if you like, on, off, and then select, again, line 0, turns per day. I'm fine with having 900 turns per day. Set the direction for both directions. Of course, you can set it to the clockwise direction by turning the right or left. Again, you can have both. Now, for instance, if you set this and you say, oops, I want to stop it, you can press pause. And then the next rotation, when it's at the home position, it will stop, which is also a very nice feature. Then if you decide you want to set per line, you can go to line 1, set say for 650, and direction clockwise, you can start line 1. Then you can go to line 2, leave it at 9. We can have it set for 900, or let's do 1350. We want the rotation counterclockwise, and press start, and this will start winding as well. If you would like to stop line 2 or 1, use the center button. So for the line that is selected. So line 2, I will select to stop, which means the play button is no longer highlighted. So it should stop now. Very good. And line 1, I will also stop, so now it should also stop in the home position. Now to synchronize the rotation, you can press the red button up top and both will start. Again, you can press the red button and both will stop their rotation. Now, however, if you press this red button, this synchronizes both the left and the right. It's no longer line specific. As you can see, this changed to 0. Now the motors inside driving these winders are Japanese Mibachi rotors, which are supposed to be ultra quiet and only have a sound rating of 10 decibels. Now 10 decibels is very quiet because in a normal room you have at silent 30 decibels, which means you should not hear these motors. However, on my model, I can slightly hear the motors running. Now I imagine this could potentially be a small defect, but nonetheless it is something I wanted to point out. Rather than it being 10 decibels for completely silent, it more adds 10 decibels. So in a very quiet room, which is 30 decibels, you could potentially measure 40 decibels with this watch winder running. I will start it and perhaps we will be able to hear it running. Again, I'm not sure if you can hear this, but if you can, then you can get a little bit of an idea of what it sounds like. Now, reflecting on the pros and cons of this watch winder, not many cons come to mind. And these cons are more just small points that could potentially be improved in this watch winder. However, if these cons are improved, it would probably increase the price of the watch winder. The first being is this watch winder can't be bolted down or secured in any way. So wherever it's sitting, it could be potentially knocked off of the table. However, this isn't limited to just this watch winder. Most all watch winders that are sitting on a mantle or a desk or a bedside table could easily be knocked off of the table. However, this one does sit quite firmly on the table. I'm giving it a little shake, and it's not moving very much, so it is quite stable. The second con is the key system. Now, the key that's used with the Virtuoso 2, I believe is either the same key used for all Virtuoso 2 boxes, or there might be 3 or 4 that they're changing out. But on the website it says a rare key. Now I'm interpreting that to be a rare key to other keys, but it's not necessarily a rare key to this box. It could be that a friend of yours purchases the same watch box and you two have the same key for the watch box. However, if you have it at home and you just want to keep it locked so that your kids or guests at your home can't easily access your watch box, it'll do the job to keep the watch box locked. Another con that I found with this watch winder is that the cord that it comes with is very, very short. If you don't have an outlet near where you're plugging it in, you'll either need to get an extension cord or you'll need to get the same plug type from a place like Amazon that offers a longer cable. Now, the pros of this watch box are, first, it is absolutely beautiful. The Noble Enemy and the Macassar wood finish are absolutely stunning, and anyone that sees this watch box is going to be impressed by its beauty. The polished surface will shine in almost any light, and the inside finishing is also stunning as well. I really like that you can control the watch winder by either a remote control or by the touchscreen inside of the watch winder. If you have the watch winder locked, you can use the remote control to change the settings of the watch winder. If you don't have the remote control or have lost it, it doesn't matter because you have the touchscreen inside. I've found after using the watch winder for a while, I prefer to use the remote, but that is just a personal preference, and you might find that the remote is extra work and you'd much rather just use the touchscreen. Either way is fine, they both work equally as well. Now, depending on who you ask, some people like and some people don't like watch winders. I fall in the boat of liking watch winders. I really like to be able to put my watch down for more than its power reserve allows, let it wind, and come back and pick it up a few days later or a week later or sometimes even a month later, and it's still running on time and I don't have to completely reset the watch. Some people don't like watch winders because it puts excessive wear on your watch, but it's not excessive wear where it's damaging the watch. It's excessive wear to where you're not wearing it, but the watch is still kind of being worn because it's still winding itself. But using the watch winder otherwise is not going to damage your watch. So for me, I do find watch winders practical, but this is a bit of a personal preference. Now throughout this review, you've been hearing me throw out terms like luxury, high quality, fantastic, maybe even superb, and maybe it sounds a bit above and beyond, but that's because I consider this a luxury watch winder. Because the price of this watch winder comes in between $550 and $650, which is a rather pretty penny. However, when you look at the quality of the winder that you're getting two winders, not just one. It is very quiet, it locks, high quality materials, integrated touchscreen, and a remote. The price starts to make sense. Now I'm not blind that $550, $600 isn't a lot of money, but when you have luxury watches and you want to put those luxury watches on display, you probably want a very pretty and nice looking showcase for your watches. And if you want a watch winder, then the quality that you're going to want with those watches is going to be higher, thus a higher cost. Now to give a little comparison, I've also done a review on a Wolf watch winder, and this Wolf watch winder, which is only one watch winder, it does only a fixed amount of turns. You can't choose which turns you want. It only has an on-off button, and the cushion inside is meh. And the cost of this single watch winder is $250. So if you take double this watch winder, you're very, very far away from the quality that you're getting with this watch winder for double the money. If I'm doing a comparison of this watch winder to this watch winder, I would think this watch winder would cost double of actually what it does cost. So although $500-600 might sound steep for this watch winder, I think it's worth every penny. If you like this watch winder and would like to purchase it, I will leave a link in the description below. I also have a discount code that I'm able to share with you where you will get 10% off if you purchase this watch winder using my discount code. I'll also leave a link to the website to where you can check their other watch winders. In case you need more winding stations, you can go for the Virtuoso 6, which offers space for 6 watches to be wound. They also have other ranges of watch winders that you should definitely check out because it's pretty cool just to see what they have. That wraps it up for this one. If you have any questions about this watch winder, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get back to you as soon as I possibly can. As always, stay practical, and I'll see you in the next one.